This 11-story hotel is unlike anything Melbourne has ever seen. With an amazing rooftop bar and gathering space, incredible conference facilities, and of course, amazing guest rooms and suites like this one. So if you have friends and family coming to town for a visit, or want to go out and enjoy downtown Melbourne's great restaurants, bars, and shopping for a night or two, Hotel Melby is the place to be. Welcome back to the 411 on the 321. Tales, Tenets, and Tips brought to you by Space Coast Business Leaders by the Melbourne Regional Chamber. I'm your host, Mel Thomas, and I'm so excited to be joining you this morning from the gorgeous Hotel Melby, downtown Melbourne. With me today is a very special guest. This is Cordell Rolle. He is the CEO of Rolle IT. Welcome, Cordell.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. So before we get started with a fabulous interview with Cordell, we're going to take a break and hear from our champion sponsors, Hedrick Brothers Construction. Since 1979, Hedrick Brothers Construction has been delivering quality construction for the commercial and luxury residential markets of South Florida. In 2020, Hedrick Brothers expanded into the Space Coast region and opened an office here in Melbourne. 3 years later, the team has grown to over a dozen professionals, working on large, local projects and investing in our community. The sky is not the limit for the Hedrick Brothers team. Check them out. You'll be glad you did. Welcome back. So, Cordell, I just think you're like a local legend. It's kind of like sitting beside a rock star right now, so I feel very privileged to have you with me. But for anyone that's watching that's unfamiliar with you or your work, can you just tell us a little bit about your background and about Rolle IT?
Thank you. Well, starting off with flattery, so I think that's a good thing. I am almost kind of, raised here in Brevard, moved here in high school, and I always loved the community, went off to the military, came back, and I just knew this is the place I wanted to be, kind of started my life here. And, if you want to know who I am, I'm a community guy, right? I'm a community guy all the way, and I even built my business based on the things I wanted to do in the community.
I love it. Okay, so what does Rolle IT do?
So Rolle IT, we're an IT solutions firm. I know it's kind of a broad term, but it really encompasses everything that we've really learned to do over the years. So it comes from my background in development, operations, and securities, and that's kind of our three pillars, that DevSecOps, and that's really where we
Okay, I'm starting to see the military come through. Okay. All right. And where are you located?
We are currently now in Melbourne.
I know.
Actually, yes. So
I passed by your office.
More centrally located. It's really a great spot for us. I mean, being right there on US 1, easy location for our clients to the north, to the south. I mean, couldn't pick a better spot.
There's a lot of development around there too. So I feel like you moved in like perfect timing.
Right.
Yeah.
Commercial rates were still a little bit low. I'm not going to brag. Got it at a good time.
Good for you. Smart. So, and how many employees are you?
We are 26 now.
Congratulations. How many did you start with?
Me.
Just you?
Just me. Started from the bottom, now we here.
So let's talk about that.
Absolutely.
Like that first day, like what made you decide I'm going to get into IT?
Oh, not a problem. So let's start what got me into IT, right? Yep. I was a firefighter in the Navy, right? Okay. Something you couldn't be further from.
Thank you for your service.
Well, you're very welcome.
Yeah.
I was the work center supervisor of a shop. They bought this software. The company they bought it from couldn't install it. I just looked at it and I was like, wow, this is going to make our life way easier. We're going to be able to track all the items on our ship, from our firefighting systems to the chemical warfare gear. And, I just installed it. I learned everything I could about it. And by the time that company came on the ship about 6 months later, they were impressed, and I was getting out of the Navy. They're like, you want a job, kid?
Oh, how funny.
Yeah. And I took the job and I left. And 1 week later, I was back on my ship working for that company. So took off all my coveralls and Navy uniform and jumped right into my nice suit. And it was great. It went from being, petty officer Rolle to Mr. Rolle or Sir, right? So it was great.
Okay. And then what made you decide to start your own company?
Oh, you know what? Like I said a moment ago, really the community work. I started working with Family Promise of Brevard in 2014. It was
one of my favorites.
I know, right? So they were the first organization to give me any type of leadership role. Before that, I worked a lot of help desk work. Spent a little bit of time unemployed even after I lost that job. So when I got to work with them, they really made me feel like, man, you can do this. We can bring, something together. And that organization, we went from absolutely nothing to where they are today. And just doing that just kept me getting more and more involved with the community. I saw the things that could change. It got me into politics a little bit. I was like, I'm going to change the world through politics.
Yeah.
But really my experience with the chamber taught me, it's really the business community that keeps everything going in the community. And I want to be that person.
Okay.
I want to be the person that you can come to and say, hey, can you help us out to do that? And I say, yes, let me write this check. And, that was it,
Okay. And that's a great segue, because I definitely want to talk about your involvement in the community, about kind of your perspective on chambers, maybe some advice you have for others. But what services, so I hear IT, if I'm watching this or listening to this, what do you think in your own words sets you apart from other IT companies?
Absolutely. First of all, it's the communication, right? It's not just being able to get a hold of us. It's the way we talk about IT with you. The biggest thing that I've always wanted to work with clients on is letting you understand what the tech is, making it simple.
Yeah.
Right. It's fancy. There's a lot of things going on. But if you can describe something, especially technology or cybersecurity, in the shape of like an onion, right? It's layers. You need to have layers when it comes to your security, not just one. If you only have antivirus, just one layer, that's just a shell.
Sure.
Right. It's not building your onion properly. So it's those types of things, being able to really communicate. And then secondly, outside of that, we're a government contractor, right? We do federal work as well. So when we service our federal clients who are just like us, we know what their requirements are. We know what their FAR regulations say. We know what NIST 853 needs, what the 171 needs, CMMC. We have to live those rules. So it's easy for us to come in and talk to you and say, hey, these are the changes that are happening on the federal level. Let's help you implement these.
I think if I was a small business owner in the civilian private sector, I would kind of want to work with someone that's like, hey, I'm doing like big things over here, so I can kind of bring that knowledge to what you're doing as well. Like,
absolutely.
If it works for the government, like,
it
give
does.
it to me. Yeah.
And honestly, when we get clients, that's what makes them feel good. They're like, listen, we know you have to do this right. We're not sending your work off to India, Mexico, anywhere else.
Right.
Everyone at Rolle IT is 100% U.S. citizens. We use E-Verify for everyone. And 90% of our staff is right here in Brevard County.
I love that.
So we're very local. So, call us. We're coming to your door and checking in with you, see what's going on.
Nice. So on your website, you have an expression, value-driven IT.
Yes.
Can you kind of speak about what that is?
Yeah, user-focused, value-driven. When I got into IT, to be honest with you, when I started this company, I just found it to be very salesy. Honestly.
Okay.
When I went to buy tools, everything was so salesy, so pitchy, and I just didn't like it. It was just like, you had to buy this tool, you had to buy this. And I'm like, that's not what it is. It's about the people, right? And beyond the people, it's what are they getting? Why do they need this? So what's the value in actually getting this cybersecurity tool that I need? Yeah, it might be cool and save me $20, but does it make my workflow easier? Right? Does it make it easier for my people to get their jobs done? If someone needs access, does it make that part of it easy? If it doesn't do all those things, then it's not bringing value. Right? Just saving $10 is not value. I know we want to save money, but if you have to spend an extra $10, but your whole staff is so much happier with the tooling that they're using and the environment that they're in, that's the way to go.
Right.
All right. When people call their IT company, they never have a smile already. Right? They're always mad. And we've got to change that, right? Yeah. So when you call us, I want you to have a smile on your face, like your problem's about to get solved, or we're about to do a lot of planning with you. That's the way you should feel about your IT company.
Nice. And I love that you bring the most important part, the people piece, whether it's your people, but let's face it, it doesn't matter what industry you're in the people business.
Oh, yeah.
So, no, I love what you bring to that. That's interesting. So I'm wondering if there's somebody watching right now, they're a small business owner, maybe they're an entrepreneur, or maybe just getting started. What's some advice you can give them? They got like a tiny little budget. What are some things they can do?
What's free half the time is what you're doing. Like you personally, when I talked about that communication and that connection, I think that's the biggest thing business owners can do is don't forget what you're selling. It doesn't always have to be, a price on it. If I want to show you that, I could be a great tax person for you. Maybe I'm going to come and show you some, skills that you can employ that are free. I'm just going to start a tax class and it's free. I'm just trying to give out information. Try to build a base of making sure that you're the authority in that type of information, right? If you're making money your top priority, it's going to be hard to come if you're always searching for a dollar, right? If you're just searching to give out information to folks, trying to help them, it's going to start pouring in. They're going to be, wow, they're the greatest tax person ever. They're the greatest IT person. like it's Rolle IT for a reason. It's not satellite this, it's nothing. It's I care about it. My name is on it. You can call me. There's an issue, I'm coming. All right. There's a few weeks ago, I was on my belly crawling under a restaurant. Right. So yeah, we multi-billion-dollar company, plenty of employees, but I'm still there to get it done.
That's so cool. And you're right. When your name is on the building, you've got for sure skin in the game.
Absolutely.
So you're going to make sure.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Just put yourself out there. And real quick, to the chamber world.
That was my next question.
Oh, okay. I'll let you ask.
Okay. All right. Good. So, Chamber World, you recently joined the Melbourne Regional Chamber, and you joined at an investor level.
Yes.
Thank you. I know that they appreciate that. I wonder if you can tell me why now, what's the strategy behind that, and how you plan to use that partnership moving forward.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, it took too long. We'll admit that. We'll say it took too long. But several factors. One, I am a member of another chamber.
Sure. There's a lot of
chambers, right? A lot of nonprofits.
Lots of options.
So I wish there could be two Cordells, but there's only one Cordell that can make it everywhere. So as my team expanded, we got some really good senior leadership. We started expanding to where I knew it counted, and the chambers really do count. It is your connection to the community. What is happening? Doesn't matter if you're interested in the politics or what's going on with small business or redevelopment, what's happening on that road, tourism or transportation there. All that kind of gets funneled through the chamber. That's why you need to be there. And then it's, what do you get out of the chamber, right? Yeah. So many people join the chamber. Oh, I didn't get business. I didn't do this.
I know.
Like, what did you do in the chamber?
Yeah.
Did you go there and let everyone know that you are the person for this, that you are the person to call? Did you, I say give free services? Just show them what you can do. All right. No one's going to sponsor you as a great basketball player if you've never dunked in front of everybody, right? Just go out there and slam the ball a few times and show them that it can be done. And then, we're going to start grabbing an audience. And there's no better place for the chamber than that. The chamber is authority when it comes to business. And when you attach yourself to that, people start to realize it.
And I think you hit on something so important too. First of all, you have options. If you're looking to get involved here in Brevard, there are 4 chambers and an EDC. There's so much to do. They all bring a certain special something. They all have maybe something they're hyper-focused on. But one thing they all do have in common is connections and that advocacy piece that you mentioned, the political part. And it's not so much, hey, getting involved in the politics and the muckety-muck that we don't all love. It's what's pro-business, what's going to improve my quality of life for my kids' schools and things like that.
Absolutely.
So, no, you hit it perfectly. So bravo to you. And you touched on something earlier, too, your community involvement. So you mentioned Family Promise.
Yes.
You're an investor with the Melbourne Regional Chamber. You are the chair or president. Let me give it your title right.
I'm the chair of the Cocoa Beach Chamber as well.
And I get to see you speak at their events too. You're a fabulous speaker. What are some other organizations you've been involved with?
Whew, all right, so a lot. Okay. A lot of good ones. So officially on the boards, I've been with Family Promise of Brevard, United Way, the Brevard Schools Foundation, Brevard Cultural Alliance. I am a member of CivMill.
Okay.
I feel like I'm forgetting Junior Achievement as well.
And we'll call us.
Okay, I know. Okay, listen, Junior Achievement, Chamber, Business. That's actually one of my most favorite organizations because it directly gets me to involve my business with the students, and it's so great. We actually just took on a new intern through JA in Brevard County Schools.
Lovely.
She will be joining us for the next semester.
Awesome.
And she will get her experience in IT. But even if you notice, all the organizations I just named, they all kind of have the same thing. We're all centered around helping young people, getting them involved in business, giving them a future. I had great parents to help raise me, but we weren't financially set. And, some of the things that I do, no one ever really taught us that back then. I had one teacher who knew I wasn't going to college, and before she would let me graduate, she's like, no, you have to create a business plan. I'm not just letting you get out of here. Right. And then all these years later, still friends with her and still, have that business plan.
Nice.
All right. So those nonprofits just change your life. And for me, like I told you, first leadership role I really ever got to have was a nonprofit.
Family, right?
Yeah. Family Promise. They let me know that I can do it. I can be part of a board. I can, be in charge of these decisions. We can take it from being in a tiny little trailer and, getting roaches infested to a great big facility out in Cocoa now that's housing
gorgeous.
4 organizations. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, the nonprofit world is just a way to really make an impact. And I mean, it's become my life.
Good.
I tell you, I could not wait for the first moment we could do our first donation.
Really?
Absolutely.
How refreshing.
So we didn't even pay ourselves yet by the time we made our first donation.
That's incredible, Cordell.
It's just, well, you put that energy out. If you're putting good out, it's going to come back in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And there's a saying, if you've seen some of my talks, my kids say it all the time, I said I'm lucky, right? But luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Okay.
All these things that are coming up for me, it's because I've been preparing. When I have a big new client that's coming and they want something cool, it's months ahead of time. I got the certs that I needed to. I got the distribution licensing rights that I did. I don't wait for something to come up. I'm getting everything prepared in the background. So when someone says, hey, can you do this? I can pull out. There you go.
Yeah.
Of course I can make that hot toddy for you. I can make all kinds of drinks. So, you got to prepare. You never know what's coming up. I like trivia. I tell my kids, like, hey, you don't know when you're going to need this information,
Oh, that's good to know. I'm like a
know.
trivia junkie. We're going to have to go out and, we're going to have to start a team at one of these after-hour trivias. I bet you could probably speak to like that feeling of community involvement. It seems like it's contagious in organizations where there's a strong leader who feels very strongly. Are you seeing that in your team now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
I love it. So we have, just spread out. Like we hit the ground. We're everywhere. So Ashley, of course, heading up everything we have with the chambers. She works with the senior living facility communities.
Since she's come on your team, like I follow you guys, you're like robust now. Like everything you're putting out there and all the branding, like hang on to that.
Ashley Caswell, our director of sales and marketing, she has come in and just lit a fire on there. Just fantastic. And really highlighting everything the whole team does. Our director of business development, Greg, he's right now teaching a course with We Venture in Spanish about business management.
Love it.
Our lead Scrum Master, Janae Jones, she's been up for numerous awards for Young Tech Professional of the Year.
Love it.
She gets very involved with Eastern Florida State in a few of the activities down there in EGAD. So it's spreading out. We got Javon. He's one of our field technicians. He does a lot of stuff in the minority communities, making sure that we're giving back there, because that's big for me, right?
Yeah.
It's not often that young black men can see, another man who started a company from nothing, and be back in that. So I get very involved with that.
Good for you. That's important. Okay, so I'm somebody who's been listening or watching. I am so inspired. I want to know more. How can I find out more about Rolle IT, about you? Where can viewers go?
Absolutely. I'd like to say we're everywhere. But obviously, please check out our website.
Yeah. You want to share that? We'll flash it up.
It's rollit.com. You can find us. Also, we have some job openings right now if you're looking for a great career boost.
Oh, good to know.
Like I said, we're at 26 right now. The goal over the next 18 months is to be about 50. We've got a lot of job growth.
Force. Okay.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of new projects coming up, some big contract wins. So if you haven't heard of Rolle IT, you're certainly about to over the next couple of years. We've got a lot going on. And we're really going to be in the community. So if you didn't hear about us,
I have no doubt we will see Cordell.
Your kid is going to hear about us. One of the greatest compliments, and we've gotten multiple times now, is when we get a call from a parent or someone for business said, hey, my son saw you talk at school. My son heard you talking about cranking in the Navy and how you hated it, but you still did your best and you got promoted. That got us work at Holy Trinity, helping them out because a parent, saw us talking, and then someone called and they're like, "Hey, my kid saw this," and it's you got to be everywhere,
that gets
right?
you right, like a little lumpy right in your throat, right? Yeah.
It's magical when you hear that, and honestly, the majority of people when they come to us say, "Hey, I heard about you in the community. I heard what you do." All right, we're committed.
Fantastic referral, yeah. It's got to make you feel validated and like
fantastic.
You're doing the right thing, and good. Well, it's palpable, like just the way you talk about it, the passion that's behind it, and your passion for the community and especially the next generation.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Now's the time in our program where we ask all of our guests if they could share with us a little pearl of wisdom. Maybe it's something you heard or a little tenet that it resonated with you, either in your personal or professional life, you think you'd like to share?
Oh, so many lessons. So many lessons. As a small business owner, entrepreneur, there's so many ups and downs. Mm-hmm. Don't forget why you're doing this. What is your why? Simon Sinek has a great book, Start with the Why. you read that book, you can really analyze your whole life and think about where you are. Why are you doing it?
Right.
I go to work because I need money. Is that really, Is it more so that you love your family? Is it more so that you love your kids? Is it more so that you want to see the things that you weren't able to do be done by them? So, really, when those hard times, think about that, because there will be hard times. All right, there's going to be a time where, everything's going great and you're happy, but something happened in payroll. It wasn't getting paid. And now you got to tell the whole team, oh, sorry, we messed up and your insurance didn't come out or something. Like, there's hard times. Or you hired someone you thought they were going to be great, and the next thing
we've all been there.
Yeah, wackadoodle.
Yeah.
So
you learn very quickly from that mistake. Personnel mistakes for sure.
And you get down, especially so when you're early on. Those little bumps, they feel like mountains.
Yeah.
But they're not, right? It's a whole journey, and you just got to remember that. Why are you doing this? And you keep focusing on that, you'll get over those.
I love it. Well, thank you for asking yourself what your why was. And I'm glad the answer was Brevard and all that you're doing, your support for your employees and your people. It's just so refreshing. I'm sure I'm going to see you somewhere soon. I always do. Could you share one more time the website for anyone interested in a job or learning more?
Absolutely. RolleIT.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, anywhere on social media. We'll be there. Ashley's got us posting all the time. You can keep up with the work that we're going on, the projects, any of our careers, and especially our community work, because, we're out there.
You certainly are. Thank you so much, Cordell, for joining us this morning.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
So thank you again for Cordell Rolle coming from Rolle IT to share his knowledge and wisdom with us. As always, thank you to the Hotel Melby for hosting us in a beautiful suite this morning. Anthony with Tightline Productions for making this possible. For more information about Rolle IT or any of the chamber partners, you can also go to the melbourneregionalchamber.com. I've been your host, Mel Thomas, and we'll see you next time.